Hello, my name is Brijpaul. I'm a real estate broker since 1988. I've seen the good days, the bad days, and the not so bad days. My passion is to educate consumer about all aspects in real estate. Actually, I sold over $1.75 billion in real estate. Now, that's a lot of experience. I went through many failures, many successes, and I've seen many stories that you will be amazed. Not everything looks so glamorous as it is sometimes. On Let's Talk Real Estate, we will dig deep down and I will take you step by step through every process, from buying your first home to buying a multi-million-dollar investment property. We will have various people on this show: lawyers, investors, we'll have mortgage brokers, appraisals, and everyone else to assist us to take you to that point. My aim is to break it down in such easy terms that you will be able to follow. So please join me every Thursday between 1 and 2, and let's talk real estate. Hello, welcome to Let's Talk Real Estate. I am Brijpaul.
And I'm Andrew Hilton.
Okay, Andrew, today what we want to do, we really want to target those who are currently renting. You know, everyone talks about first-time buyers and what's involved in the process. But what happened with, these folks who are currently renting, thinking about one day I want to own my home, but for them it's a mystery.
And Jay, the truth is not all of us are able to buy a home or not. We're not saying that everyone is gonna be in a position to buy, but many persons are renting and do have the ability to purchase. However, not knowing what to do and how to do it becomes an issue.
That's true. If you think about it, if you are renting a home, let's say for $1,400 per month, an apartment, right? And you rent it for 5 years, that's about $80,000 of money.
That's a lot of money going down the drain. At the end of the month, all you get is what? Pretty much just a receipt.
Set of rent receipts.
That's all, right?
So where do you really start if you are renting?
First, let's look at an exit strategy. I mean, most people rent for, let's say, average 3 to 5 years, or sometime up to 10 years. Right? You want to look at what timeline or put a plan in place.
Right.
Now, where do you start? That's a question most persons will ask. Okay, let's start by looking at your credit, for example. I mean, your initial down payment money that you're going to need to require.
Well, make good sense. So let's look at it this way. Let's say you need to start to put away money every month towards a down payment, right? So make your budget out, make your plan. Says, hey, in 3 years' time, I want to move out of this apartment and move into my home. I need to save an average, let's say $300-400 or one paycheck every month. Put away in a separate account strictly for your home purchase.
One good account that they can look at, a person can look at, let's think of RSP. RSP is a great tool that you can use in order to jump into home ownership, right? Put away as that same $400 a month. It works out over time.
It's great because you know what? If you buy the maximum amount of RRSP, what really happen is that at the end of the year you will get a tax rebate from the government.
And also, I mean, using your RSP, the government gives you up to 15 years, up to 17 years actually, to pay back.
Right.
With interest.
So, folks, if you're living in an apartment and you're working, the best thing to do first is make sure you have an exit plan. Now, with that exit plan, you want to know that here, I want to move out of this place in about 3 to 4 years. Now, when you do that, we need to save money. While you're putting away money separately to make your down payment, we prefer you to also buy the maximum amount of RRSP you can afford. By doing that, at the end of the year, you will get a tax rebate. That also you can use to supplement your amount of money you're putting away for buying this home. Now, the next most important aspect.
We can talk about, let's look at credit.
Yes.
Most people are, I've seen lots of potential people that make the mistake of co-signing for someone, right? That's one mistake one should not make.
What you mean by co-signing? I want to co-sign for my brother, for example. Anything wrong with that?
But here the issue with that. Your brother decide not to pay.
Right.
What happens?
It messes my credit
It messes
up.
you up.
Okay.
The bank is not, or the lender is not gonna let go of you. You're the good person.
And you know, Andrew, you are so correct. And it's maybe not for big things. I've seen situation where
Phone bill.
a cell phone, someone co-signed for a person that have a cell phone. That person credit was bad. They did not pay. The other person says, you know what? I'm not paying your bill. And their credit got messed up. Right?
Another issue that I see that people seem to think that, okay, it's a simple, it's a minimum payment. You know what? We don't have to do it now. Put it after later. But the bank is going to look at it and say, if you are not able to make the minimum payment, how can I trust you to make a payment on a mortgage?
Well, let's assume we are the bank. Okay, and this guy got $2,000 and can't pay his minimum payment on time.
Okay.
What will happen when we have to lend him $300,000? So it's very important to make sure you pay on time every month.
There's no questions about that. But people seem to think and take things for granted, which in the end come back to bite you.
And that's true. That's where it's a bit dangerous, right? Now, the next thing, remember, when you have a credit card, it's really the bank's money, your ability to manage the bank money. When your card is all full to capacity, it tells the bank that you cannot manage money properly. What would be your best advice for these people?
You know, try to carry a very low balance. It's always important not to have too much credit. In terms of having too much credit is not good, as well as having minimum credit is not good. Try to keep a low balance at all time, and again, pay your minimum payment on time.
That's very important. So make sure you have very clean credit. Just carry about 1 or 2 good credit cards. You don't need 10, 5, 15 credit cards and pack them up to max, because really and truly at the end of the day, it will affect you. Remember, the bank will look at that. And next important aspect, the bank will look at your income. A good stable job is also very, very important.
What it does is it defines your ability to pay the mortgage, right? And in order to get the funds, in order for the bank to trust you, then they need to know that you can actually pay.
Well, definitely. So getting a good stable job is very, very important. If the bank realizes that you do not have a stable job, then you may not be able to qualify to get a mortgage. Now, how do we handle self-employed people? Many people work by themselves, and they are making an income as well. But
with self-employed income, the bank tends to, look deeper into issues or their whole employment. Usually at minimum 2 years, they tend to want to see more because it's self-employed, right?
Yeah, that's important, because what the bank is looking at as well with self-employed, most of the time you will file your income tax papers at the end of the year, being self-employed. Chances are your net income is very low. Let's face the truth, right? The bank want to also make sure that you don't owe Revenue Canada, because in the event of default,
definitely.
Revenue Canada is the first to collect, and then the bank. So they will ask for your tax return for the past 2 years. Sometimes they go back 3 years.
At a minimum 2 years.
Right? So based on that, they will look at the pattern and know how much money to lend you. Let's assume, for example, I go out there and I want to buy a property for $500,000. How much do you think I need as a down payment?
The general rule of thumb is you need at least 5%, minimum 5% down. I mean, looking at 500,000, that would be 25,000.
Right.
And again, closing costs, you're looking at another 1.5%.
Right.
And in terms of a first-time buyer, for the land transfer tax, you'll be credited up to $4,000.
Okay, yeah, but on a $500,000 purchase, if you're buying a home at 500,000, your minimum down payment has to be 5%, which is $25,000. Out of the 500,000, put away 1.5% for costs. So that's 5 and 2, 7, about $8,000 for cost to move you into that property. We call that closing cost. So you will need about $33,000 as a down payment. Husband and wife can take out $25,000, up to $25,000 from their RRSP to use as a down payment on the purchase of their home. They have 2-year exemption. Then they have to pay back 1/15 of that amount every year. And if they don't, then that will be considered an income as well. Right? The whole intent is for you to get into home ownership. 15 years down the road, 17 years down the road, you have your home 2/3 paid for, and you have a very small, you have your RRSP back in your account.
And another note, in terms of income to qualify for a home, about the 500,000, you're looking at, I would say, roughly $80,000 to $90,000.
Yeah, so if you're buying a home for, let's say, 500,000 with $25,000, your monthly payment on a mortgage will be
I would think about, let's say, about 2,300, 23 to 24.
Yeah, that with the property tax.
At today's interest rate, like let's say
3.2%.
Somewhere there.
So it would be about 20.
I would say 23 to 24.
Okay. On top of that, folks, remember you do have to pay your utility bills. All right.
And another note, property tax. You want to
plus
factor
your
in
property tax as well.
Yeah.
Right? So most important is to make sure, as someone sitting there in an apartment, is not to get carried away over the figures. Try to find something that will be equivalent to the rent you are paying, or slightly more if you can afford.
And they don't have to go that full screen. You can always get into a condo to something that's more affordable.
Right.
I mean, it's a starter home you're trying to get at. It's about getting out of this renting
and start ownership.
You're building long-term growth. You're providing roof over your head for your family, right?
Yeah, that's so true.
It's a win-win in both.
It's a win-win in both situations. So the most important thing is that, number one, start putting away money. Number two, maintain very clean credit. Number three, make sure you have very stable job. Number four, make sure you don't co-sign for any person.
I strongly recommend that. I've seen a lot of issues. I've seen a lot of people suffer just because of that. And it's not their fault. They have good intentions, was to help someone. But Jay, if I was to be in that position, believe me, I probably just give the person money if I can and call it a day.
Call it a day. You're right. It's a dangerous strategy.
Dangerous.
It's dangerous.
And the ones, many other times, who hurt you or put you in these situations are those close to you many other times, believe it or not.
Oh,
the ones you think that would never do it.
Oh, yes. So this way you'll be able to save some money towards your down payment. So we are about to take a break now, folks, and when we get back, we will delve a bit deeper into the same issue. Stay tuned. Thank you.
Discover the incredible India.
Welcome back on Let's Talk Real Estate. This is for you. If you have any questions, please connect with us. Now, Andrew, we were talking about people who are literally renting and wants to get into home ownership. We have spoken about how they have to start to build their amount of money gradually. But what happened now if my grandma is giving me the down payment? How that works?
That's a very good question, Jay. I mean, a lot of us are not fortunate enough, but some are. And if you are, I would encourage you to take full advantage of it. In today's market, also, it's a great time to buy.
Yeah.
It's prices are at. It's more like buyers have a lot to benefit. Why not jump into the market now?
Yes, but I'm talking about qualification here. Number one, the money is not in my account. Now the banks want to see that money in my account.
Okay, definitely. What happens is that would that be grandma or mom would have to give them a gift letter representing, showing where the money is coming from. The bank, because the bank wants to see where the money is coming from. They want to know that you didn't borrow that money. Because if you borrow that money, that's gonna go against you. GDS and GDS, which is what they used to qualify you for.
Okay, for those who don't really know, a GDS ratio is called a gross debt ratio, and a TDS is called a total debt service. The bank uses 32% of your income to tell you how much home you can buy, and 42% of your total income to tell you how much debt you can carry. So you want to stay within that range. For example, if the family income is $100,000, then $32,000 per year can go towards paying your mortgage and your property tax, right? 42,000 must be able to pay your mortgage, property tax, car loan, and credit cards, and any other debts. So that the bank uses these two criteria, right? Now, in today's industry, let's say I am a first-time buyer. I want to buy a home. What's the first thing I should do? Go to the bank, you think?
First, no. First you want to do is get what's called a pre-approval. Now, how do you get a pre-approval? You can either go to the bank or you can secure the services of a mortgage broker.
Right.
Mortgage broker, I find, tend to have a lot more resources at their hands.
Right.
Now, what the mortgage broker will require is pretty much like your notice of assessment, your current pay stub, gonna do a credit check. My suggestion is pull your own credit. You're allowed to do it and see what's there ahead. So if you know what's ahead as opposed to having the broker pull it, many a time that takes a hit on your credit. And if you could repair it before you get to that stage, you're ahead of the game.
That's true. The bottom line is that get a credit search done. You can actually get one credit search free for every year, either through Equifax or there are other companies that offer it. And you will have an idea of your credit. What will be an ideal credit score, would you
We're
think?
looking at generally anything above 680 is pretty good. 680 and up is pretty good. But the banks will lend you you'll still get lending at say 650, 640.
Yep.
But 680 and up is
good.
Yes.
By the way, for our viewers, I just want to let you know that Andrew Hilton is a realtor in the Toronto area, has been around for about 10 years.
Yes.
And is one of RE/MAX's very successful realtor. So
I mean, thanks to the relationship that we developed over the years to our clients. I mean, because without our clients, we're nothing, right? They're the one that put us in the position we are.
yes.
Right?
Thank you so much. Now, going back on course, so I went to the bank. The bank says, here, you know what? You are qualified to buy a home of, let's say, $500,000. Now, I know that I could go about and buy that home. Now, what do I do from here? I got my money in my account, right? I went to the bank, get a pre-approval. But when I look out there are about 75,000 realtors, and everybody's saying they're number one.
Everybody's saying the same thing. Now, here is my take on it, Jay. The bank say you qualify for 500,000. The truth is, the bank does not factor in you need a vacation. My advice to a buyer, although the bank say 500 or 600 or whatever it is, you have to look within yourself what you're really comfortable with. So not because they say buy at five. You can buy at 500. Necessarily, you're gonna buy at 500. You have to look at your situation. Now, the next thing you wanna do is that, just like you mentioned before, there is a lot of realtors, and everyone is number one. What you definitely wanna focus on is to get somebody that gonna look out for your best interest.
How do
And
I
that-
know that? Everybody's saying they will look out for my best interests.
Jay, the idea, what I would suggest is, again, interview a couple realtors. It doesn't
Right.
take, it's free.
Yes.
If you have to talk to 5 realtors, do it. And
Yes.
by speaking to them, by communicating with them, you're gonna figure some stuff out, what they're about. But like I said, the main thing you wanna focus on, this individual, whether it be Remax, whether it be Century 21, whatever it is, this person has your best interest, because at the end of the day, you're gonna live in that house, not the realtor. And when the realtor sell you that home and he's gone, you're the one gonna be stuck there. So you gotta make sure.
Yeah, very important point. What I want to mention here, that if you are choosing a realtor, number one, as Andrew said, interview 3, 4, 5 realtors. Then beyond that, go one step farther. You can actually Google them nowadays, see what's happening, see their review. See
Everyone
what's
does
the-
that.
Right, yeah. So make sure you do that. The next thing, the realtor may want you to sign a buyer representation agreement that they will be representing you. Make sure you read all the papers. It's nothing wrong in telling your realtor, hey, you know what? Give me all the papers. Let me take it home. Let me
read it.
spend some time and read it through in detail before I know, so that I know what I am signing. I've seen situation where realtors tied buyer up under contract for 1 year.
And the buyer is unaware.
The buyer is not aware of what they signed because the realtor just shove all the papers in them and tell them, here, sign here, sign here, sign there. They didn't read anything much. Now, the realtor got them under contract. The realtor did not perform.
So they're stuck.
They went and bought a home through another realtor. And guess what? The original realtor had a contract for 2.5%.
You're on the hook. You're on the hook for that.
Sue them. They have to come up with that money and pay that realtor. Right? So be very careful. All right? 2 months tops to give a realtor for a buyer representation agreement.
And a buyer will know. I mean, a buyer will know by dealing with an individual whether paper is paper, but in the old days, JR, where we're from, your word is your bond, and you have to see that in that individual. Paper is good. Everything nowadays needs to be reduced to contract, or reduced to writing, I should say. But from a personal perspective, you will get a feeling whether that realtor, like I said again, have your best interest, because that's the number one point you want to look out for.
That's very important. Now, just to backtrack a little bit, I've seen situation here that I am renting a place. I end up going to buy my home. I went to my landlord and said, landlord, hey, you know what? I bought a home. Great, I'll be moving tomorrow. And the landlord said, uh-oh, no, you're not. You have a 1-year lease signed with me.
You gotta be aware of how the lease things work too. I mean, once you have a contract with a lease, you're obligated to that lease. What coming towards the end of the lease, the bottom line is you need to give your landlord a minimum 60 days notice in order to vacate. But a 1-year lease is a 1-year lease, and you're obligated to it.
Right, so make sure if you are renting and you're planning on buying, make sure you are not under contract. You're on month-to-month tenancy. If you do not sign a lease, they cannot just shove you out of your place. You automatically fall on month-to-month tenancy. Month-to-month tenancy means that in the event you want to move, you do have to give the landlord a 60 days notice from the end of the term, and the term literally ends at the end of the month. Be careful with that. I've seen situation also where people give their landlord information. Landlord comes in later on after they move and say, hey, you know what? You damaged the fridge. You damaged the stove. I have to repair this place. And literally go after them because they know that they are buying a home. So bottom line, don't tell everyone your full story. You don't have to tell the landlord the reason why you're moving. Just say, hey, I'm giving you your 60 days notice. I am moving. Right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we have seen that. Now, I am planning on buying a condo. I'm paying rent $1,400 per month. I said, you know what, before I pay the rent, I might as well take that money, convert it into a payment for something that I own. Right? Now, what should I really look for in a condo if I'm buying a condo?
A condo, very, very, very important. Buying a condo, like I said, everyone has different buying threshold, right? Pretty much, some people can buy home, some people can buy condo. For a starter home, it's always advisable if you can get into a condo. Now, getting to what you need to look at.
Right.
Very, very important. It's called a status certificate.
Okay.
What the status certificate is, it tells you it's like the X-ray of the condo unit itself, the management, not the building, the management,
right?
The reserve fund, whether there is money in it, whether there is any lien against the condo, whether there is any, name it.
Right.
Or any lawsuit going on. Your lawyer will review this with you. So pretty much that would be a part of your condition of purchase. Speaking of condition, in today's market, I mean, it's advisable to put conditions in your purchase.
Right.
Home inspection, financing for sure. It's getting a mortgage nowadays is not as simple as the banks have become very strict.
Let's talk back about the status certificate, as you're saying. I'll give you an example how important this is. In 1989, I sold a few condos in North York. Then I sold them for $134,000. Price went up tremendously from then to now in real estate. However, those condos price today, you can buy that exact condo for $34,000.
Wow!
Because the maintenance fee jumped from $400 all the way to $900. They don't have any reserve fund. Folks, every condo must, the maintenance fee you're paying, a portion have to go into a reserve fund called a reserve fund for major projects.
Elevators, roofs, windows.
Underground parking, all these things. However, if that money is mismanaged, then it could be a problem. Remember, condos should not really be your first option if you have other options. But if you have an option between renting and owning, then condo is okay.
So, some people too, hold your thought, some people too, Jay, just prefer not to have the maintenance of the yard, shoveling of snow. I mean, it could be persons downsizing. I mean, condo would be better for them.
You're absolutely correct. Nothing wrong with condo living. However, what you want to do is make sure that the building have good management and have enough money put away in event of emergency. Now, if we are buying a home, for example, then then what do we look at?
Again, you got to look at your ability to purchase.
Yes.
Right? You got to get, again, same pre-approval. Find out how much is your maximum you can purchase. Then you go, again, you got to get a good realtor.
Yep.
It goes
so
right back.
What we'll do, hold that thought for there. Folks, we will now take a quick break and then we'll get back and we'll discuss what's involved in buying a home.
Hey guys, Grant here from Carib 101 Media Group, and this is an outreach video going out to everybody with a request for assistance on your part. As you guys know, there's a lot of devastation that happened in the islands because of Hurricane Irma. There are families that are hugely displaced. Some islands are over 95% inhabitable, and people are reaching out to us, asking us where they can either give products or aid or finances, and at the time we didn't know where to go.
So in order to aid in relief efforts, Carib 101 Media Group has started up a GoFundMe page where the community can now go and help submit donations in order to help rebuild the infrastructure that's been damaged due to Hurricane Irma. So, going to the page, donating like at least $5, $10, even $50 isn't very much. but it will help, you know, our Caribbean brothers, sisters, families, friends in helping rebuild their homes.
There's also a call for certain donation items as well, which are personal hygiene products they're looking for. They're requesting things like baby diapers, baby food, clothing, things like toiletry, personal hygiene products, garbage bags, disinfectants, so that they can help with the cleanup. So at our office at 55 Rutherford Road South, Unit 205 in Brampton, we are set up to receive your donations there. So instead, you know, if you'd like to donate some items versus donating money, please come on over to the office here in Brampton. We'd be more than happy to accept your donations. We will be getting it together in about 2 weeks, and I believe the date would be September 21st that we'd like to turn the items over to the Consulate General Office for Antigua, where they'll be shipping it down to Barbuda for distribution there.
Now, keep in mind too that as much as it's nice to give toiletry products and stuff like this, they also have to try and get it down there. But a lot of these islands have been so hugely devastated that they need money to rebuild and get supplies and stuff like that. So we're kindly asking that if you can please, if it's $5, $10, $15, $20, please donate, because that's what they need the most. They need to start rebuilding their infrastructure, rebuilding homes, and creating shelters for these people that are displaced. So again, if you can help, we greatly appreciate it. It's perfect here where we are right now, and we can only imagine what families are going through, not having homes, losing all their possessions, and literally not having anything that they know as home around them.
Welcome back.
Yes.
Now, we were discussing if you want to buy any property, it's important to follow certain criteria. What are these criteria?
We've all heard it, Jay. Location, location, location. Very, very important. Now, in terms of what gives you the best value for a home, again, location, size. The home, if it's too big, you can make it small. If it's too small, you can make it big. Again, upgrades. I tend to tell my clients not to focus too much on upgrades. Get the perfect location near to schools, shoppings, major highways. Size, again, you want to have enough space in your home so furniture can fit the family, pretty much.
So in summary, what Andrew said is that you must focus when you're buying a home. It's like a triangle. The most amount of money is in the base of the triangle. That's the location. The second most is in the size of the property, and the least amount is the upgrades. So for example, if a home is worth, let's say, $500,000, maybe the value where it's located alone, just the lot, might be $400,000, $300,000, $400,000.
That's the biggest piece of the pie.
Yeah. Then the next thing, remember, folks, you cannot extend a smaller home that easy.
No, you can't. You can't.
Right?
You can
But you can upgrade it.
And you can make a big home small.
Right.
Put a lot of furniture in it.
Right, yeah. Look at that, right? And the next thing, the upgrade is like the icing on the cake. It make the cake look pretty, but it's not the main substance of the cake, right?
And a buyer can always upgrade it to their taste, because each individual have different taste, different liking. One person might like hardwood floor. To the other guy, it means nothing. He wants carpet. So all those stuff, again, like paint, for example. We know a can of paint in the store is what, worth $50?
Right.
On the wall, you're looking at $2,000.
Right, makes sense. So you can always do that. So now, location, when you're looking at location, try to stay away from places close to apartment buildings, location that may have criminal activities.
Negative impact.
Every family like to be close to good schools.
Yes, and the ratings.
Right. If the school is good, chances are the value of the property around that school
will be higher,
go up, because good families want their children to go to the best schools. So that's one good way to choose your location. Another good way to choose your location is to look for properties that are within
shopping centers. Again, shopping centers. schools.
Yeah,
we talk
we know
about
that, right?
highways. You want to have easy access to go to work.
Very a lot of work. Right.
Most works are
In today's industry, many buyers are also choosing to go out of
Of
town
town.
because I'm working from home.
Mm-hmm.
Why should I pay the high price in Toronto when I can drive an hour and a half out of Toronto and
Get-
buy a home for $350,000?
You get a lot more bang for your buck.
Right? So the trend is that many buyers today with the internet can work from home. Uh, so really and truly, you can move out of the city,
Mm-hmm.
buy a home for half the price, and that way you don't have to worry.
Especially if you have affordability issues, because you're going out, you can buy a lot more as opposed to trying to buy, say, in the GTA or even Toronto for that matter.
Yes, and now if you go out of town, the new trend is this the net zero home, as they call it. The net
Energy.
zero home are amazing. Do you know they come, for example, they collect the rainwater that you can look for water your grass, for actually flushing the toilets, and these kind of things. Then what happened? They have solar roofs, which generate the electricity for you.
And with
They
that-
have geothermal heating where they extract heat from the earth through a pump, right, to heat the home. The insulation they put into it is about 45% better than current insulation. The windows are not double pane, they are triple pane. So the
less-
heat
less
loss
heat.
is minimal. These homes literally run themselves on the
Independently.
zero utilities.
So you're saving on utilities, and you're saving on the price you pay for the home.
Yeah. So if many people are moving outside to buy these homes. Now, there's a principle in real estate where we call principle of substitution. The principle of substitution puts it this way. Assuming we have home A and home B, identical home. And one home, we put a well in and it costs us $40,000. The next home, we went through some hard rocks and the home cost us $60,000. Now, one home cost us $20,000 more. Do you think if I have to sell my home, I spent $20,000 more, do you think I'll get that money back?
They spend the money, but they're not going to get it back because the end result is the same. They get water.
Both tops get
Water.
water. So there's a difference between cost and market value, right? Many people assume that what they put into the home,
They should get back.
should get it back. Not really. Value is a function of what you get out of the home, not what you put in the home, right? Remember, let's say we got $20,000. We want to finish the basement, put a basement apartment in, or should we do it in a nice new modern kitchen and put some...
One guy may charge you $10,000. One
Right.
guy price is $20,000.
Right, but what I'm saying is the same amount of money. If you finish the basement, the value of a property will go up. Versus you take that and finish the kitchen and modernize the kitchen, the function did not change. Right? So that's why the principle of substitution is very, very,
Very important.
Now, another principle in real estate that you must look at when you're buying a home is the principle of regression and progression. Yeah, could you shed some light on that? please?
Regression pretty much means one property brings the other up, right? So in a good neighborhood, it's good to buy the most rundown property, because the other good properties will bring that property.
Well, if you're in a big shot neighborhood and you buy the smallest property, because you're in a big shot neighborhood, they will pull your property value up.
Yes.
On the other hand, if you are living in the poor man neighborhood and you got
Or
a
the
biggest
biggest
house,
house,
then
then
their
you're
value will
pulling
pull
down
your
yours.
value down. So if you really want to build real estate wealth on the long term, it's best to buy the smallest home in the best
area.
location.
And it come back down
Come
to
back down to
the
location, as we
location.
said. Right? Now, Andrew, have you heard recently about Equifax being hacked?
Yeah, man, that's scary, man. It is
it
scary.
is.
It is scary. Yeah.
Yeah, Equifax is a reporting agency. What they do, they collect data from every consumer for that may want to buy something. They will have to give their social insurance,
That's
date of birth, driver license, current address,
So
credit card information.
everything is there.
Bank information. Equifax was hacked at the beginning of May, and these hackers had access from beginning of May. The company only found out at the end of July.
I'm telling you, it sounds scary. And I think everyone, I think they're allowing you to check your credit to get a free report within a certain time.
Yes, but let me put it this way. Yes, you can go and check your credit
They should.
report
People
once
should.
per
People
year.
should.
But let me put it this way. Do you think your social insurance number will change when you are 95-year-old?
No.
Do you think your driver license
Never
and
change.
your
No,
name
no.
will change?
No, and if you lose that,
Now, these are nuggets in these guys' hand. It cannot necessarily be used against you now.
but you never know.
5, 10, 15, 20 years it can be used against you. Right? So with all this information in the hacker's hand, you have to be very, very careful with what's going on. Identity theft is on the rise, and with this kind of information, we will see it over the years. We know as people tend to get older, that's when they are more vulnerable. So these guys can sell this information at different time, right? One of the best thing to do is first be vigilant and taking a look at your credit report.
Always check.
You get credit reports, at least check it once per year. Also monitor your account. If you see something that is not correct, report it as soon as possible, right?
And a lot of lenders, banks are offering all these different tools that you can get updates when you make a transaction. A lot of it out there, so people should really take advantage of it.
Take advantage of these things is very, very, very important to protect, to look into.
And once
these
it's
things.
gone, you gotta spend the rest of your time trying to rebuild it, and it's done already.
Right, so you don't want that to happen. Another option that people can exercise is literally you can go ahead and freeze your credit report.
Yes.
How you freeze your credit report? You have to call a company. There are 3 credit reporting companies. You have to call them and tell them you want to freeze your credit report. There will be a cost for that. However, once it's frozen, all your current creditors can still see your report. However, anyone new would not be able to see it. So, for example, if you're going to apply for a loan, you want to unfreeze it about 3 or 4 days before. Allow that to go through and then freeze it back again.
And I will encourage everyone to always check your credit. It's
It's very, very important.
at least
to
once
do
a year.
that.
Just do it.
Yep,
You
it's
never
very
know.
important to do.
And not just check it, but find out where you are today. Especially persons are renting right now who is considering buying. Just check it and see where you're at.
That's very, very important.
start.
And make sure you bill on that credit every time, right? So let's go back to our focus here, that you are in an apartment, you are saving some money every month, put it aside to buy your home. It's coming on to year end. Make sure you tap up on your RRSP, because by tapping up on your RRSP, what that does, technically, it brings your income bracket down, and you will get a rebate from the government. And then you can use that rebate as, to supplement again.
Yes.
Right? The more money you can put down on your home, it's always
the
better.
Right? At the end of the more you put down, the lower your monthly payment will be. The more solid you look to the bank, because you're actually contributing more. The banks don't want to. They want the minimum risk they can get. They prefer that.
So, folks, home ownership is not far away, and we will go for a break. When we come back, we'll talk more about real estate.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. And now we will discuss current market update.
Wow, what a change since February.
Yes.
A lot has changed. I mean, I remember in January we were talking about persons selling. You had 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 persons wanting one home. Now it's the reverse.
But you know, Andrew, we human beings, we are very predictable creature.
Yes, we are.
The thing is, we all tend to move in groups. When everybody is buying, we want to buy.
Just like that.
And when everybody is selling, we want to sell. Literally, in real estate, it's good to go against the trend.
Yes.
Now everyone wants to sell. It's a great time to buy.
Warren Buffett says it's best.
Yes.
Now, compare when you look at February. In February, like I mentioned before, you had to chase a home. Now we're in a balanced market. A balanced market is best for everyone, in my opinion. Right? What's your thought on that?
Well, a balanced market is when there is about equal number of sellers and buyers. That way you can negotiate.
So
better.
one to one.
1 to 1. In the February market, what happened? There was a shortage of property, and everyone wants to buy it. So for every home, there are sometimes 25 offers.
I remember doing 12 offers before you get one for your buyers. Buyers were getting frustrated.
Right, they are losing out every month. It was a different time.
Yes.
Where you cannot negotiate. You cannot. You have to put very, very strong deposits. You cannot go with conditions for financing.
You just have to jump head in.
Yeah, no inspection. Right, no appraisal. And then what happened coming on around June? Many of these properties could not close because the price came down about, let's say in some cases, $100,000, $150,000, $200,000.
A lot of you find even some persons that sold then having issues now closing.
Yeah, so these property are not really closed. So what happened? Price came down so much. The sellers put their property back at the market, will be selling it for far less.
Far less.
So as a buyer, it's seasonal at this time that the price tend to stay a little bit low. But now in the fall, it will start to pick up again. You'll see, we are seeing currently less homes on the market. Right? With less homes in the market, the supply will dwindle. Demand will start to go up again. And we will see a gradual growth. We would not see what happened in February.
And also interest rates. It's on the rise.
Interest rate climbed twice already.
Twice in less than 6 months, pretty much. Right.
Yep. And they're expecting another interest rate hike this year again.
Buyers need to jump in.
Yeah, now is the time to buy if you are there, right?
Yes.
Another important aspect is that even now they are planning, if someone is putting 20% down, they are planning on qualifying you based on a higher interest rate.
Yep.
So they're adding something called a stress rate on top of the rate to qualify you. It means less buyers will qualify.
I need more stress too.
Yeah, it'll be a lot more stress. So less people will be qualifying to buy homes, which means homes will be sitting a bit longer.
And average time you're looking at over 30 days now before a home is actually.
What I find very interesting, I have a few clients who I got home on the market. These homes are over $1 million, and they are priced correctly, but they're getting zero showing. Are you experiencing the same?
The buyers are sitting on the fence. They're just waiting, hoping for more and more reduction.
Yeah, but homes around 500,000,
those ones are moving.
600,000, they are selling.
I think it's the first time buyers. Some of them are coming out the renting, so that's a good sign.
Yes, that's exactly what's happening. But that's where the affordability level is, right? People can afford. I mean, look at it this way. Myself and my wife, we are making $100,000 a year. We buy a home at $500,000.
Affordable.
Right? Our mortgage alone is over $2,000, $2,400.
Yep.
And what if in another 3-4 years that mortgage change from 3.2% to 6%? My payment might almost double.
Yep. And then you could be out of the home because you can't afford anymore.
Right. So
the government is actually, what they're doing makes sense in the long run because it protects everyone.
Yeah, that's true. By stabilizing the price a little bit, making it more
Affordable
affordable
for everyone.
everyone on a long term is better for everyone. Other than that, what we find will happen is that the price will run away and it will
And
create a big gap.
yes, and the
Right?
buyers
We'll get two groups of people,
get frustrated.
homeowners, and, yep, and then it will lead to stagnation because
Yes.
nobody can afford a home anymore.
and so much things rely on the real estate. The economy relies so much on the real estate side of things.
You're
There's a-
so
there's a
right.
lot
It's the
involved.
main vehicle
Yes.
because when someone buy a home, the next thing they go and they buy paint.
Yes, the carpenter comes, the plumber comes.
They renovate
From the beginning. Think of
right.
a new home, what's involved.
Yep.
Carpenter, the plumber, the mason, so many persons, right?
Yep.
Then the realtor, the banks. There's a lot involved.
It's really the main
It is.
hub to spin the economy. So the government will want to make sure that real estate is always healthy and well.
And they also the more homes sold, the better it is for the government, right? The more homes change hands in terms of the land transfer tax.
So tell me this now. I want to buy a new home. I choosing a, maybe I want to step out there and buy a new home. I'm a first time buyer as well or something. And I'm looking to buy a new home. But the problem is that there's no land space. If I want a new home, I have to go out so far. Right? Yeah. Yeah. So what do you think about that?
It all depends. Some people like new. New gives you certain benefits. A new home. I have purchased new home before. It gives you certain benefit in terms of you get to choose certain things, but there's a lot of disadvantage that comes with it because there's a lot of hidden costs that you don't know of. Example, tree planting. You got to do fence. You got to buy a new
Grading
curtain.
fee.
Grading fee. They put
Right,
on one layer of asphalt.
You
and
got to
that's
pay
it. You
for
got
the
to
other
pay extra.
coat. Now, these are some of the problems that actually I see my client encounter in a new home. Number one, I'm a person, I like to see things. I can't
Yeah.
envision a room size on a piece of paper.
Not everyone.
I can't envision the corridor, the kitchen, nothing. Many people, they buy the new home and then they walk into it, they're shocked.
Something
1,300
else.
square feet, looks so small suddenly. On paper, it looks so
The bed doesn't
glamorous,
fit.
so
Nothing,
big. and
nothing fit
everything
anymore.
else.
Another thing that the model home. You ever gone in and look at the model home and compare it to the home that?
Well, that's
You're
why
telling
they
me-
call it a model.
Sure
right?
have.
It's a
Sure.
model home, right? It's not really what you get. So that's very important also. If you're looking for a new home, make sure you research the builder
Yes.
as well. Because many builders, today we have many fly-by-night builders that use cheap material. Let's put it
Yes.
that way. They have a Tarian warranty that covers certain things
Things.
up to 7 years. But just after 7 years,
Things
I've
start
seen-
falling apart.
you see a new subdivision where about 10 years
The
the roof
shingles-
is all curling up?
I,
you say, "Hey, this is-"
I went to see a client recently that experienced that.
Yeah.
And they weren't the first owner, and they were like questioning, okay, can we go after insurance? What do we do? They have to come out of pocket over $6,000.
Yep, there's nothing much you can do. I've seen furnace that are going after 10 years. They buy out all the low-end furnaces.
Furnaces, that's a good thing. We're gonna talk about it. Next show we can talk about this furnace issue with a lot of.
That's a good idea to just touch on it. For example, there are these rental that.
That rental furnaces that homeowners. I know we're talking about persons want to buy, but you have homeowners who they are tricked. I call it tricked into thinking that their furnace needs changing, only to realize that look, they're stuck in a contract, and if they do decide to sell that home, you're looking at $5,000-7,000 to buy it out. I've seen $14,000.
Yeah, be careful of that. I mean, let's get back to our people who are renting and in your apartment. They're listening today. So what we want to do, the first thing I would like you to do is number one, make sure you protect your credit. Don't co-sign for anyone. Start put away money in a separate account. That's to buy your home. Don't touch that.
That's home buying money.
Home buying money. Make sure that you got a stable job. Keep your job, or if you're going up, that's great. But job stability is important. Keep your credit in check. Right. Make sure that you do not overuse your credit card, because your credit card is your ability to manage the bank money. And the way the bank look at it is that, hey, if you can manage $10,000,
How can you manage 300?
$300,000, right? Make sure you pay these credit cards on time. Again, the bank look at it this way: you can't pay, your loan on $10,000 on time.
You're not responsible.
Yeah, not responsible. How you pay $300,000 on time, right? Once you do all these, start to put away money. The next step is to get pre-qualified. This can be done either directly through your bank or through a mortgage broker, or even through a realtor that will be able to assist you and give you the right guidance. Once you get that done, then buy within your means.
Buy within your means.
You don't have to say, hey, I cannot afford home ownership. Buy even a condominium.
Start.
At a starter
gotta
home.
start.
And you will step up. That's your first step. Remember, you move from downstairs to upstairs by climbing many steps. So you will step up now from renting to owning something. And literally the mortgage you pay, half of that goes as a saving
Future.
into your property. Half may be interest and half goes towards saving. So in 2-3 years, when you're ready to step up again, remember the price of that condo, most likely if you do it right, will go up. The mortgage will come down. That money that is there is considered the equity, we call it, of your home. So once you sell, you can use that equity to move to buy another home. Quickly, before we close, I want to let you know that we are having our investment workshop on September the 23rd. That's Saturday from 1 to 4. It's a classroom session, and we call it Invest 101. All you need to go is go and sign up at youhaveapiggybank.ca. These workshops are usually full to capacity, so sign up early. There is no cost except we ask for a donation to a charity. And I want to say thank you so much, and see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.